I hope you're having a very blessed day. A lot of you have sent in questions, and so today I'm making this video just about answering the questions you've sent in to me. So I'm going to cover at least 2, maybe 3 of the questions. We'll see how much time we have. I don't want to make this 2 hours long. I've got some really good questions that have been sent in. So if you have a question and it doesn't get answered today, or it hasn't already been answered, then please send me in your questions. You can send them into my Facebook, you can send them into my Instagram, you can send them into the comments below on this video. You can also go to my website and contact me that way through either my email at willowlemechanr@yahoo.com, or you can send me a text with your information, your questions you'd like to have asked. But I'm really looking forward to answering a lot of questions. I'm going to make this the Dear Willow time, so that you can ask those things that maybe have been on your mind and you haven't found the answers yet that you are hoping to find. So let's get started. The first question I was sent was, how would you avoid negative energy or spirits? Well, I run into that a lot. Anytime I'm doing work with individuals, with clients, I might do clearing work. They may have a negative spirit or negative energy attached to them. So how do I avoid it? Well, I have protections. The first thing that I can always recommend is get yourself a black stone. This is a black onyx. Black onyx is a wonderful stone. You can wear it in jewelry. You could wear a necklace, a ring like I have. You could carry a piece with you. That's just one example of ways to protect yourself. I do believe in wearing protective jewelry pieces. I put a lot of energy and clearing and smudging into my jewelry. As you can see, I wear a lot of jewelry. But that's part of what I do. But not everybody is going to be able to do that. What if you work on a job where you can't wear rings or you can't wear a necklace because you could get it caught in something? So there are other ways to do that. So if you have a pocket, you could carry a piece of stone with you in your pocket. But what about just avoiding negative spirits? Well, I can tell you that you're going to encounter spirits everywhere you go. Whether you are going into a church or going into a funeral home or going into the cemetery or going into the hospital, a doctor's office, anywhere you go, you're going to be running into spirits of some type. You're not going to always see them, but they're there. So how do you avoid the negative ones? Just protect yourself. So a couple of things that I do are the jewelry. Also, you could use a spray. I make the Willow Spirit Be Gone spray. That's one thing. Florida water is very good. It takes all the negative things off of you. That's good too. That's just for taking negative energies off. Smudging, using sage to smudge, Palo Santo to smudge, using the different resins like frankincense or dragon's blood on charcoal. Those all help, but that's more of the after the fact. So to avoid them, just protect yourself. Don't go in places if you can avoid them, like prisons or jails and negative places that are just going to kind of attract negative energies. You got to get rid of that stuff. You try to keep that out of your life unless you work in that environment. And if so, you're going to have to keep a piece of stone or something with you because you're going to be encountering these negative energies. Now, once you come home from work or being out into any of these locations, what you can do is just keep a piece of sage outside, or some Florida water, or the Spirit Be Gone spray that I make. Any of those things, you can keep it outside, keep it in your car. Before you walk into your house, just cleanse yourself of it all. Either smudge or spray yourself, or rub some Florida water in your hands and just kind of do it all over your body. That helps. But to avoid them, It's not that easy, because let's face it, no matter if you talk to a stranger, they could have something negative about them that if you're a magnet, especially if you're an empath, you're going to absorb all these energies unless you're protecting yourself. Now, the other thing you can do, and I discussed this in an earlier video, is to create a bubble around yourself of protection. And also to ground yourself daily. So you want to grow those roots from your palms and bottoms of your feet and your root chakra into the earth every day. You'll see that in that video that I posted, and it was about how to ground and if you're an empath, protect yourself. So grounding with the root meditation every day is great. Visualizing the picture of pure white loving energy above your head being poured over the top. The divine source energy being draped across you, whether it's a net or just like a bubble. Those are ways to avoid or protect yourself from negative energies and negative spirits. So that is the answer that I have for that. If you need further, please send me the question and I will get to answering that part of it for you if you haven't gotten that answered yet, okay? Now, the next question I got is very dear to my heart, and it's how to use tarot. I'll just read it to you. I'm going to read it like they gave it to me. How to use the tarot to help meditate, reflect on certain aspects of yourself. Well, I recommend that if you have a tarot deck, that you should be pulling a card every day. So I use the Gilded Tarot. You can use any tarot deck that you like. I also use the Syrian Starseed Tarot. That's a larger deck. I also use Oracle cards. I like Oracle cards. Now, the difference between the tarot deck and the Oracle card, let me just show you a little bit. First off, size is a little bit different. Generally, your Oracle cards are going to be a little bit bigger, okay? But not always. But it's just, it seems like the creators of the Oracle decks made them a little bit larger, and I think it's for the pictures. I use the Fairy Oracle that was created by Brian Froud and Jessica Macbeth. They are the ones that created this. And I love the pictures here. We have the fairies and gnomes and just the singers, which that's a singer card. They're just beautiful cards. I like them because sometimes I can do a reading for myself, but I'm not getting the answers that I'm looking for. Or I question myself because I'm like, well, am I reading into this? Well, you don't want to read into your reading for yourself. It's hard to be objective. So with the Oracle cards, you could pull one of those a day and literally they will speak to you. And it's okay if you don't have them memorized, because you're going to look at the card, then you're going to pick up the book that comes with it, and they are very, very clear about the meanings of the cards and questions you can ask yourself. So this is a really good way to meditate and maybe discover different things about yourself that you are trying to find out about. You know, like, is there something I need to work on? Is my path the right one for me? Questions like that. So Oracle cards are better for those who are not extremely versed in tarot. But even someone like me who's been reading since I was 15, honestly, I like to pull one card, but I would just pull one card and go, oh, okay, so I have the Four of Cups today. What am I not seeing? Is it going to tell me about an aspect of myself? Well, maybe I'm blind to something. But with the Four of Cups, it's like you're being given a gift and it's right in front of your face, but your eyes are closed. You're not seeing it. There's blessings all around you too, but you're not seeing the one that's being given to you. So you may find out that your best friend is in love with you and you never knew it, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but I would suggest that you have both tarot and oracle cards. Okay, so now the difference between tarot and oracle, tarot cards, generally there's 78 of them in the deck. 22 major and 56, counting that right, and 56 minor. When you get to oracle cards, you may have 10, you may have 30, you may have 65. They can be as many numbers as they want because it's whoever created the deck. But I do recommend the Brian Froud, the Fairy Oracle. I like that one. I have a Druid one that's about plants. I've had different ones in my life that I like, but I'm really drawn to the Fairy Oracle. I let the fairies tell me what I need to know. So that's how I would suggest you do it. You can pull a card a day. Whether it's an oracle card or a tarot card, just pull one a day and meditate on that. And if you want to know something about yourself, you really have to learn about that card and also look at the pictures. What is the picture itself telling you intuitively? It's not just about the description in the book. It's not what you pull up online. It's also what are you feeling from that card? What are your guides trying to say? Now, I went over that last one. How do you connect with your spirit guides? Well, remember, you got to meditate to do that. So that's the second question I want to go over for you. Now, there's another one, and this one can get a little tough if you don't have an imagination. You've got to have an imagination on this one. The question that was sent to me is, how can you assist in helping a spirit cross over, whether it's on your land or in your home? Okay. Well, first off, you need to know that there is a spirit. If you can see spirits, that's fine. If you just know there's somebody there, that's fine. But you also need to figure out whether or not they want to cross. There's a difference between crossing over a spirit and clearing your space. I have cleared entire properties and then put protection around the whole perimeter of the property. I have also just cleared a house and then protected the house. I clear people and help them protect themselves. But how do you help a spirit cross over? Well, the way I do it, first I speak to the spirit or multiple spirits, because I run into this one place that we do paranormal investigations in, and I will open a temporary doorway. I visualize it. I send my energies into it to open the door, and then I welcome any spirits that want to cross. At one point I was doing a seance and I opened the door and literally had about over 20 spirits cross that had followed us from a cemetery, which that's how I then learned not to let them follow you. Lessons learned. Anyway, but how do you help them cross over? Well, once you've realized that there's a spirit that is trapped, and they have to understand that they're trapped. They might not even know they're dead. So it gets very involved. You have to speak to the spirit. Now, if you are not clairaudient, if you can't hear them, if you're not a medium, can't see them or hear them, then you might use paranormal equipment to see. We have spirit boxes. There's a necrophonics app you can put on your phone. There are different ways you can hear them. It's kind of like a modern day Ouija board, but I don't feel it's quite as dangerous as somebody playing with a Ouija board that leaves a door open, because once you turn that piece of equipment off, the door closes. So it's a little different. So I don't recommend you connecting with a Ouija board, but maybe a piece of electronic equipment like a spirit box, SB7, SB11, or one of the apps like Necrophonic app. Those are two different ways that you could do it. But you have to, once you figure out what the spirit wants, do they want to cross over? Are they feeling stuck? Then you would envision the doorway. You would send, like, you can almost imagine opening a door, pulling apart two sliding doors. You could do it that way. You could like push the energy and visualize the white light. This is the things you need to do to help them and invite them to cross over. They need to understand there is no hell on the other side. There is only love and light. Once they understand that, sometimes it's easier to cross them. But if you have a negative energy, they're here for a reason and you're not going to be able to cross them. I've had to banish spirits off of their original property. That was not easy because I had to send them to their daughter's house because the daughter was holding them there. She didn't want this grandmother to, it was a granddaughter, she didn't want her grandmother to cross. So she was holding on to that energy so strongly that her grandmother, who was not the nicest person in life, she was a negative medicine woman. She harmed a lot of people in her tribe up in Canada, and she wanted to use my body to continue her work, and I had to banish her. So that was a very intense one. Had to banish her from the home. Then I had to walk that spirit out, open the gate, kick her out, and then I had to put a line of salt, black salt, around the entire property. And we didn't live there very much longer because I knew that the rain would wash the salt away and she'd come right back. So we were only there for a short period of time. But different energies require different ways to help them cross, help them move into the light, or to clear them out and banish them from the location or the person. So yes, it's very involved. How do you do it? Well, that's how I do it. So I open the door. I let them know the door is going to be open. They have to make the decision whether they're going to cross or not. You have to also sometimes call for their loved ones to meet them at that door because they're afraid what's on the other side. But if you can call some of their other spirits, their family that is waiting for them, they will help them and help assist cross them over. And that's the other thing that I do. I don't just send them into a bright white light with nothing, promised on the other side, because they have to see that there's loved ones there. When my mother was passing, I was the last one to be with her. She was in intensive care. She was in a coma. I knew she could hear me because her monitors would respond to me. And I went to visit her. It was very late at night, and I knew this was going to be the last time. I knew she was just holding on to see me. And I got there very late at night, probably about 2:30 in the morning. And I went in and I held her hand and I was talking to her. And as I'm standing there at her bedside, I look over in the corner of the room and I see all the spirits coming in, all the family. I saw my father and I saw my aunts and uncles and grandparents. I even saw my mom's younger siblings that passed from childhood illness, and they were really little. They were like 4 and 5 years old. So I saw them and I had to let my mom know it's okay to cross. Dad's there, all your loved ones are there, the family's waiting for you. You're not going to go in there alone, and I'm okay here. I got this over here, Mom. It's time for you to cross. They're not here for me, they're here for you. So I also assisted her spirit to cross over because she had suffered for 22 years with emphysema. So that was something that I learned through that experience, that to assist other spirits to cross into the light, they have to know their loved ones are there waiting for them, that they're not going to hell, that everything is forgiven once they left that physical body, and once they cross into the light, everything is cleared away and they don't have those fears anymore. And they have to know that. So you have to talk to them. So you can't just sit there and talk to them in your mind. Literally, I talk out loud. People think I'm nuts. Well, I talk out loud to spirits. They listen. They need to know and be reassured so that they are not afraid. Because a lot of times they're afraid. What if they've committed suicide? They may be afraid. They've been taught their whole lives that if you commit suicide, you're going to hell. You don't get to just go to heaven. You're going to go to hell. But from what I've learned through my medium work and through spiritual work, I now understand that there is a lot more than what we've been taught, what we've been conditioned to believe, also known as brainwashing. I actually listened to a priest who did an interview with a reporter, and he specifically said the church created hell to control us, put the fear in us so that we will obey the church, obey government, obey the church, do everything that's obeying. Well, once I realized myself that there was no hell, then it was easier for me to understand how to help people cross over. So that is just something you have to practice and learn. My suggestion is get somebody that's done it before and work with them. That way you're not just winging it and hoping, because they could get still stuck behind, or they're still afraid to cross. So you have to work with them very carefully. And you have to have a really good imagination to see that door open up. You're seeing the door, and then you're seeing that spirit cross in, and you're also seeing their spirits, their family and loved ones meeting them at that door. So it can be a door, it can be just a square light, like a doorway. I have seen a beautiful one at a funeral for an Italian man. He had committed suicide, and he was afraid to cross over. And at his funeral, I'm like, no, you have to cross. You don't have to stay here. You've done nothing wrong. You did everything right, and it's okay. And it's time to leave. And he showed me a beautiful Italian villa. And it was like, he opened the door, and this beautiful light was outside, and I could see the grapevines in the vineyard. And then he waved at me and walked through the door. And that was like, and I still get goosebumps. That was a very beautiful crossing. So you have to be prepared. You're going to see different things if you try to cross spirits. You're helping them. You're not hurting them. And that's the difference between crossing over a loving human spirit and then banishing negative spirits. There's two different things, and you have to understand them. So it takes practice, it takes experience, and that's why I always suggest please work with somebody who's done it in the past, who has been successful at it. Like, I'll work with people, I'll teach people how to cross spirits over. I will teach you how to clear negativity from a person, or a spirit from a person with an attachment. I can show you how to do that. Now, I don't think I want to do that in a video, because it's not a safe thing, because you want the spirit not to go into the phone or into the camera. You want the spirit, whatever it was, to leave, and go back into the abyss where they belong. But yes, I would work with students to teach them that. I was lucky enough to work with an exorcist. She showed me how to do it, and now I can help others. So that's how I would suggest helping others cross over. So I think that's it for today. I would love to hear more questions from you. So please send them. Send them either to willowlemechanr@yahoo.com. You can go to my website and get my text number and text them to me. You can go to Facebook, or you can go to Instagram, and I can take all of those questions that you have. And they don't have to be just spiritual. If you're having something going on in your life, somebody else may have something similar. Let's take a look at it. If you're having trouble with a toxic person in your life, if you're having trouble with a relationship, I can address those things as well. How would you ask Dear Abby to help you with a certain thing? Okay, those old columns that people would write into. I'm going to make this the Dear Willow time. So you can ask me what you need to ask me, and I'm open to any questions. So by all means, I still have a few more that I'll answer in a future video, but I hope this has helped some of you answer some of your questions. Please go back, check out the one video I did on grounding and protection. I have also done some on full moon and new moon manifestation and transformations, how to get rid of stuff and how to bring stuff in. There's a lot of things that I've done already, and I just want you to use these as reference and then do your own research. I can only go so much in depth for you. I give you simple remedies and as simple answers as I can. But I hope that this does help. And I look forward to more questions and interacting with you. I might even do a live stream coming up here, maybe not on YouTube, but on Facebook or Instagram. I don't know if I can do that there. I'll have to check into that one. But if you're looking for a personal reading, of course, contact me at my website, willowlemechanr.com. You'll find all the information there. You'll see the pricing, what kind of things I do. I can do phone readings, FaceTime, or in person if you're in the New Orleans area. Also, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I'm out there. All of the links are going to be below in the description of this video. And until next time, be blessed.